In this section, we're talking about inequalities and solving inequalities in interval notation. What I want to refresh your memory on is, remember, if the symbol is one of these two, it's going to use parentheses. And if the inequality symbol is less than equal to or greater than equal to, it's going to use brackets. So in this multiple choice lineup, this particular problem is not quite so obvious, but in some of the other ones, just make sure that you are really careful and you choose the one that has the right closing symbol. You can also use that to narrow down your multiple choice options as well. Okay, so when we're working this one, I need to distribute through. Watch your signs. I get a negative 30x plus 15 is less than a negative 35x minus 25. To solve it from here, I'm going to add 35x to both sides. (5x plus 15) is less than negative 25. I'll subtract 15 from both sides, and 5x is less than negative 40. Now I'll divide by 5. That 5 is positive. Since that 5 is positive, you do not flip. Okay, so that's what my answer looks like before I put it in interval notation. So in interval notation, here is my negative 8. You'll see it's pointing in this direction, so you're going to shade in that direction. So in interval notation, this would be from negative 3 to negative 8, and remember, negative 8 uses parentheses. So that would be my choice. Now looking at this one more time, I divided by a positive number here, so there was no flipping. But if you divided by a negative number, remember you have to flip the sign. Okay, the next one you see is an absolute value greater than. So let me give you a little hint about that one. Remember that an absolute value greater than has two pieces. An absolute value greater than has two pieces. So I can throw out these two and then I can go from there. And that's just a little hint that I wanted to share. Now here's how you work it. If you want to work it the formal way, you're going to take 4x minus 7 and set it greater than 2. You will also take 4x minus 7 and you'll flip it and change it. So that's why you're going to have two pieces, because you have two inequalities. Write it as it appears, and then on this side you flip it and change it. Okay, let's solve that out. So 4x would be greater than 9 when I added that 7 to both sides. Divide both sides by 4, and x is greater than 9/4. On this side I'll add 7 to both pieces. Watch your signs. Divide by 5. Oops, we don't divide by 5. Sorry about that. Divide by 4. And x is less than 5/4. Okay, well, if you look at your multiple choice lineup, there's only one with that particular possibility, so that would be your answer. But if you needed help writing it on the number line, here's 9/4 out here. You'll see it points in this direction, so we would shade in that direction. Here's 5/4 right here. You'll see this one points in the left direction, so I'll shade in that direction. So putting those together, we would have negative infinity to 5/4 This one uses parentheses since it doesn't have the little bar under it. And this one would be from 9/4 to infinity. And that's how that one would look. Okay, with this last one, I gave you a little note at the top to remember when you should use brackets and parentheses. On the problems that I gave you, I didn't really gave you on this video, I didn't really give you a lot of opportunity for brackets or parentheses, but just remember on your exam to be very careful choosing brackets or parentheses in the multiple choice lineup. What I notice about this particular problem is an absolute value less than. An absolute value less than makes a sandwich. Meaning this one has parentheses, so it's going to have a piece of bread, and some stuff in the middle. That's what the answer is going to look like. So this one right here, that's 2 sandwiches. That wouldn't work. And so we can narrow it down that way if needed. The way that you solve it formally is you take 2x plus 8 and you're going to sandwich it between 13 and -13. You'll notice that the inequalities are both pointing in the same direction. To solve this out, I'll subtract 3 from all 3 pieces. That would be an 8. I'm sorry, I misspoke. You'll subtract 8 from all 3 pieces. So -21 is less than 2x, which is less than 5. We'll divide by 2. So -21/2 is less than x, which is less than 5/2. So looking at our multiple choice lineup, -21/2 to 5/2 is this one, and that is your answer for that particular one.